And yeah, and that's all we ask, is that our loved ones would be back, that we at least get a sign of life from them. In my family, there is a 3-year-old Yael, an 8-year-old Naveh, and 12-year-old Noam. These are all small children and babies and elderly people. These are the people that are being kept right now in Gaza. And every night that passes that they are still there is our failure and the international community's failure. So we really ask now for immediate action as soon as possible to get a sign of life and to bring them back home safely.
יוני, בבקשה.
Hello, thank you for coming. My name is Yoni Asher. I'm a 37-year-old. I'm the husband and father of Doron and 2 daughters, 5 and 3, Raz and Aviv, which got kidnapped from the kibbutz Niraz, from their grandmother's house. I wasn't with them at that point. Was back in our house, far away from there. They were spending the night for the holiday and got kidnapped from the safe room. I saw them on a video later that day getting on some kind of vehicle, recognized my wife getting covered on her head, my older daughter Raz, my younger daughter Aviv, 2 little baby girls who got kidnapped. And right now I'm here talking in front of you, and I'm a father without his family, and my entire world got taken away from me. I want to thank Chancellor Olaf Scholz for his time, for his visit. I'm impressed that he's willing to do whatever it takes in order to be responsible for their safety and their return. I showed him and the ambassador Sabert the doll, which was in the bed on grandmother's house, which my little daughter Aviv was always sleeping with. And I told him that I will come to Germany and with my 2 young baby girls when they get back, and with this doll, and give it to him and say thank you. And this is my vision. This is what I want. This is what I hope for. And we must understand there is no time for children held captive. There is no time. Children in captive, it's a disaster. It's a catastrophe. It doesn't matter what country they are, but we know that also the ambassador and also Mr. Scholz himself are aware to this, and I will hope that they will bring them back. Thank you.
רוני? Ricarda.
My name is Ricarda Luke. I'm the mother of Shani Luke. She went to the festival on this Saturday, celebrating peace and music and dancing and many people. It was a great festival of what I heard from other people. And then in the morning, the alarms, the rocket came, the parachutings with guns were just landing there. They panicked. They went to the car. She was driving with the car and 2 other friends. They tried to get out of there very quickly to the street. In the street, the Hamas was already waiting for them with guns. She made a call quickly to the other friends, don't come here, everything is blocked, run away. And the other people really left the car, the second car, and ran away. She couldn't make it. She was stopped by them. She and her Mexican boyfriend, and there was another friend in the car. The friend in the back, we found out later that he was shot on the place in front of them. And there were screams. The others were still on the phone with them. There were screams and shootings, and then the connection was gone. And later on, we got a video from a friend where we saw her thrown on a pickup truck, half naked, bloody, and in a very strange position, unconscious, and people were really putting the leg on her with the arms and celebrating and laughing, and they were driving through the Gaza Strip, and we saw all the people cheering and chanting and celebrating and spitting her on the head, and it was just so humiliating and terrible to see at this moment. So in this time, really, you know, a whole world breaks down. You don't understand. You don't get it. Is that she was on a festival? What happened? Why do people behave like this? Like human, like animals? I don't know. I really have no explanation for this. But so in the end, and we didn't know if she's alive or not. And a few days later, we got an information from someone in Gaza that said she's in the hospital and she has a bad head injury, and that's all we heard. I mean, it's almost a week that we didn't hear anything new yet. We don't know in what situation she is. We don't know if she's alive, if she's very sick. And the bombing goes on there also, which doesn't make us more comfortable. And just the unknowing, it's really driving us crazy. And everybody said that we don't have time. We have to act quickly, and we have to get at least to know in what situation they are, who is alive, how sick are they, as a first step, and then get them out of there. That's what we ask, and we hope that Germany can make this happen.
Bevor wir zu den Fragen kommen, wollte ich mal kurz betonen, dass es gibt viele
Before
Israelis,
we open for question, let me say there are many Israelis that have very close ties with Germany, German friends, football clubs, and we have, for instance, Herr Spolin, who was also abducted by Hamas. He's severely injured, and we know he's a very close friend of Werder Bremen Football Club. There are several such ties, connections, and we hope very much that these people will come back soon, that we'll get to hear about them very soon. And now we will open for your questions. You may ask your questions in English. If you need a translation, we're here for you.
First that I'm Roni, the sister of Yarden Roman, that we're heading to Berlin, and in Sunday there will be a great rally. We really expect every person who cares about lives of innocent people to come to support us, and it's just a rally of love and life, and this is our call to Germany and the whole world to stand with us and bring them back as fast as possible.
Questions, please. Fragen, bitte. Ja, bitte, wer fängt an?
Who wants to start?
Wer ist der Erste oder die Erste?
Your first question, please.
Keine Fragen?
No questions?
No questions? Doch, RTL, bitte. Präsentieren Sie sich nur, bitte. Danke.
My name is, can you hear me? Yeah, my name is Alexandra Kalinius, RTL and NTV. Just a general question. You talked about that 40 minutes you talked with Chancellor Scholz. Was there something concrete he promised you? Something concrete that gives you hope?
חנן, אתה רוצה לענות בגרמנית, בבקשה?
I can answer the question in German. Most of the things he said concerned the fact that he is going to continue to support. He will do everything he can. We know he's going to travel to Egypt tomorrow, and we know that Egypt has influence on the terrorists, and that is why we're not losing hope.
Questions more? Who's next? Wer noch? Bitte.
You've been watching a press conference in Tel Aviv with family members of German citizens who have loved ones missing after the Hamas attacks. I'd like to speak a little bit more about this with DW's chief political editor, Michaela Kufner. Michaela, obviously emotional testimony there. How much support are families receiving from the German government?
Well, most of all, at this moment in time, they're receiving attention. They got to meet with the German Chancellor today, and quite clearly, these are harrowing stories. This is everybody's worst nightmare, to have a family member in the hands of a terrorist organisation and not really knowing what is happening to them. And it appears that the German Chancellor took 40 minutes. That's a long time. He only stopped by for a couple of hours in Israel overall. He's already on his way to Egypt. And he assured these German citizens that he would do everything in his power. Now, I'm pretty sure he didn't go into that terribly much detail. But one thing that Germany can offer is lines of communication. It was a coincidence that the Emir of Qatar was in Berlin last week. That was something that was scheduled before this attack by Hamas. It was supposed to be about energy and the economy and investment. And it turned out to be a conversation about the stability in the region. And this is a potential avenue for communication with Hamas, with Qatar being a major money giver to Hamas on the whole. So that is something that is visible, that these lines of communication, but we are aware that there is a lot of talking going on behind the scenes. Having said that, these people are clearly not getting any concrete information, and we also understand that no contact has been established with any of these hostages so far.
Give our viewers a sense from the perspective of where we are in Germany. How much attention is there on this case of these hostages here in Germany?
This is getting a lot of attention. The individual stories are being told in the daily press here in Germany. It's also something that it appears like something that should be in the past. This is so brutal, this is so barbaric. It is very detailed, and it is so shocking that it has shocked the German nation too. At the same time, these people we've just witnessed, they are basically in a nation that as a whole is under attack. I think you can see how tired, how exhausted people are, and how they are losing the track of time. Early on in this press conference, we also saw a wrong time reference, because these hostages are basically stuck in a loop that simply won't end. And this is something that not even the German Chancellor, probably no leader at this moment, can break through, because this is how terrorism works. It sows the seeds of hate, because nobody can expect from these people or from a nation experiencing that kind of trauma to forgive and forget.
How involved is the German government in negotiations to release the hostages?
I have no concrete information, and we're not in background talks getting any concrete information about anything nearing negotiations. What we are learning is that relevant actors are being contacted and spoken to. And that's kind of where we are. And I would be surprised if the relatives were given any further detail than that in this conversation that they had with the German Chancellor, which clearly went a long way in making them feel and actually seeing that they are getting attention, that their loved ones won't just simply be forgotten.
Well, thank you so much. That is our chief political editor, Michaela Kufner. We really appreciate it. And a reminder of news we have at this hour. The Gaza Health Ministry says at least 500 people have been killed in a strike on a hospital, which was said to be filled with wounded and those who were seeking shelter. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has declared 3 days of mourning following a deadly airstrike on the Ali Arab Hospital in Gaza City. Egypt has denounced the strike and called on the international community to intervene to stop such violations. An Israeli military spokesperson said there were no details on the blast. Well, Qatar has taken on a role as mediator in the war here. Doha has had ties with Hamas since its early days, and that gives it an important position of influence over the organization. But it, of course, also brings into question how appropriate Qatar is as a mediator for peace talks.
A friend to the West and to their sworn enemies. Qatar walks a tightrope on foreign policy. Doha's communication channels with Hamas have made it a major international player and an important US and EU ally. A small state with a long history of mediation. As in past flare-ups, Doha this time immediately took on the role of negotiator, holding talks for the release of hostages held in Gaza. Qatar cut diplomatic ties with Israel in 2009, but it is experienced at balancing relations with opposing players, for example, counting both Tehran and Washington as friends. Doha has hosted the political headquarters of Hamas for more than a decade. Over the weekend, the political leader of the militant Islamist group, Ismail Haniyeh, met with Iran's foreign minister in Doha. Qatar is also widely regarded as a major financial backer of Hamas through its funding of civil services in Gaza. It says the financial support is for